Inform the mind, inspire the heart. Inform the mind, inspire the heart. What does that mean? It's a phrase, but it feels like a lifestyle. It's something that I believe that each and every one of us can apply to bettering ourselves, to doing more, being more, and becoming more. When you say inform the mind, I think that's how a lot of us make our decisions. We gather the information that we're supposed to, allowing us to look at the decision and then make the choice. But there's another level to that. What does that mean? Inspire the heart. Meaning emotionally, how are you connected to the situation? Right? There's something that's a deeper level when you say inspire the heart. For me, it's finding your why. Who are the people that you're connected to that will allow you to move in such a way where when you make that decision, not only are you proud of that decision, but you understand who it will influence and why it will influence them as you move. Like each and every one of us has a dream. Each and every one of us has ambitions. Each and every one of us are shooting to the stars for results that we hope to achieve one day. But the real question is, why are we doing it? What is the reason for you walking in your purpose? And I feel like many of us, we come to crossroads. There are situations where we have to ask ourselves, if I am to do this, why am I doing it? Who am I affecting and what am I doing it for? So when we think inform the mind, inspire the heart, for me it's how do I understand that I will allow my intellectual curiosity to push me in the right way, but at the same time, I will never ever understand. I will never, ever forget that I stand here as one person, but I come as 10,000. Like I've had people sacrifice for me to be in the situation today. So everything I do, I want to do with a certain level of passion, of zeal and commitment so that you know that I'm going to give my very best effort in the situation. Like as you move in the world, whatever it is that you do, as you do your work, who are you doing it for? Who are you representing in a way where you can turn to them and say, I've done you right? Where they can look at you and say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the way in which you handle yourself. Inform the mind, inspire the heart is something to take into the gut. It can allow each and every one of our decisions to be something that is heartfelt, but at the same time, intellectually driven, something that will allow us to literally become the best version of ourselves because we know we're operating and moving in the right way. Sacrifice is always required on the road to your dream. Sacrifice is always required on the road to your dream. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Sometimes it will be time. Sometimes it will be effort. Sometimes it will require isolation. Sometimes it will require you to put yourself in environments where you have to grow. Sometimes it will require you to make new relationships and put yourself in environments that you're not aware of. Sacrifices are always going to be required on the dream, and every dream is going to ask that you grow into it. Every dream is going to ask that you grow into it. There is no dream that you will have where you are ready at this moment in time. If that's the case, it's not a big enough dream. You have to grow into the things that you want. You have to grow into the things that you're preparing for. And my question to you now is, are you willing to make the necessary sacrifices to become the individual that you need to be to go after that dream? It's interesting for me right now. I'm at an interesting situation. I've come a long way, but I have a long way to go. I'm on a journey where I've come a long way, but I still have a vision that I have to reach for. And as I'm going on this journey, I'm realizing that there are a few things that are absolutely imperative to keep in mind. Number one, you can't do it alone. No dream, nothing that you're after can be really done alone. You have to understand Who is on your team? Who is a part of your team? How are you contributing and adding value to their lives? And how are they contributing and adding value to yours? Number 2 is, what sacrifices are you going to make? Dreams require sacrifices. Oftentimes it requires time spent alone, time spent doing something that you never thought. I used to walk in the park. And give talks by myself, hours in. This was before my first TEDx talk. I used to walk in the park by myself and give talks over and over again, imagining what the crowd would look like, who I wanted to be on that stage. This was a year before I ever started speaking. And while I'm not saying I'm far on the journey now, I just understand that there are going to be sacrifices that need to be made as you go on your journey. My question for you right now is, as you're on your journey, what sacrifices are you intentionally making? Where are you going, and what are the things that you're saying, you know what, if I cut this out and I cut this out and I add this in and I add this in, I develop this habit and I cut this habit, I will grow into the person that I'm supposed to become. What are those things for you? Have you identified those? Who is your why? Who is your why? You're not doing this alone. And if you're doing it to feed your ego, you're putting yourself in the wrong position. Who are the people that are in your corner that if you go and you win, if you get that trophy, if you sit at the top of that mountain, who's going to be there with you? Who are you sacrificing for? Because if they're not there, I promise you that reward will feel so empty. It'll feel so empty. We have to put the people in our lives first. And last but not least, what is the legacy that you're trying to leave behind? It's interesting because I turned 30 in a week. And this word legacy is interesting because oftentimes it's spoken by those who are 50, 60, 70. Like society has put it in a situation where we're only supposed to think about legacy at the end of our lives. I think legacy is something that you do every single day. How do you walk in your legacy? Meaning, what are you leaving behind? What impression are you leaving on the people who are around you? How are you moving and operating in a way where someone understands what you stand for and who you are now? What is your legacy? You're walking in it. It's not something that you build at the end of your life. It's something that you're doing right now. We are on the journey of becoming, so do never be scared of answering the question and tackling the question and grappling with the question. The frustrating question, the difficult question, the question that might not have an answer right now, but what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? And I encourage you, if you haven't tackled something like this, tackle it now. Inform the mind, inspire the heart.